We are on. What it do, what it do, what it do, everybody. It's your boy that way with Jack Travis. Jack Travis to be precise, man. We back in the building. Again with another live, man. We're gonna do a little follow-up talking about some of the things I hinted on yesterday, man. My live yesterday was about the breaking news about Big U, Loose Cannon, Brick Baby, all arrested in Operation Drawdown out there in Los Angeles, California. Centered around up to and including fraud, extortion, murder. Three very serious charges, man. RICO indictment. 19, 20, 21 individuals lumped in this whole thing, man. And the biggest fish out of the whole thing, as we know at the moment, is Big U. Eugene Henley Jr. Everybody know about Big U, man. Big U name has been in the hip hop stratosphere, I guess we should say, for a handful of years, man. We know we go back to the Nipsey Hussle situation, and it's rumored that Eric Holder, aka Shitty Cuz, was given the green light by Big U. You know what I'm saying? Now we don't, of course, we don't know the ins and outs unless you out there in California gang culture. Guess you'll know a little more than the layman man out here, but we don't know the facts behind that. But we do know that they had a history. We do know that U has got a reputation for being a big crip out there, like a top dog crip. So it would make sense that he requires people to pay homage. And like I said, this indictment, man, it details various basketball players. It doesn't say any rappers in particular. They do quote Wiz Khalifa in the article, and he's doing major glaze. And you can tell that Wiz Khalifa paid a lot of money to be out in California, because the statements he's saying about you is like, damn, bro. Like, did he also give you a script to read, like on like some shit off Severance? You know what I'm saying? When they go in the break room, they just make them repeat that damn statement over and over and over to his pound in the head. Till they mean it, I should say. Seems like that's the treatment that Wiz Khalifa got, because he's got some glowing statements for Big U, man. Like when I came on, there were two individuals that had not been arrested yet. Big U and or Spanish or both, or half and half, or what have you. Hadn't heard any word on his capture, but I did see a video yesterday when Big U was riding in the car with his family. He was headed to turn himself in, and he used that opportunity to kind of try and get himself out from under it again. But that was the video I saw, and I think that he's now in custody. So we're gonna roll from here, man. And like I say, I think the authorities have been, kind of side-eyeing Big U for a while, man. And as it pertains to, like, okay, I heard him say something, and I was reading another paper in which I'm putting together a show now that'll be out later today. That's a little more comprehensive, man, and bringing in pictures and some relevant sources. Right now, I'm just kind of talking, blabbing on about the live. But the agent said something in the write-up that we have been preaching. I don't know, I can't say preaching, but we've been telling these people. We've been watching them do this for years, and it's just like, bro, they don't rock with y'all like that, my nigga. Like, it's not a good look. And what I'm speaking on is two shows in particular. One being Vlad TV with DJ Vlad, and the other being No Jumper with Adam 22. Now, these are two shows that the most gangsterous niggas on the face of the earth, let them tell it, go on television, YouTube, if you don't want to regard it as national television, whatever. But I think YouTube has probably got more views than at this point. You cannot stop these gangsters, move in silence characters. You cannot stop them from going on Vlad or No Jumper and telling everything from their past. Spilling the bean. They stop. Well, I ain't gonna say everybody stops short. Some people name other names and bring other people into the fold. But for the most part, you get guys on there, and I guess it's a part. being more gangster. I don't even understand the logic behind it, but they would go on Vlad TV or Adam 22 and divulge information that just should be taken to your grave. You dig what I'm saying? Everybody like, bro, you know you self snitching. You think we the only people seeing these interviews? They say in the write up, yeah, we went and watched these interviews when they be on there spilling the beans about everything. Law enforcement. This bears repeating. Law enforcement actively searches Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube. The videos aren't private. And in this world where everybody wants to blow up, it would be no point to make it private. They want 5 million people to see them with their chrome heart jeans and they what type of jacket they'll get them a mirror jacket or something, you know what I'm saying? To get super fly to go on there and just self snitch, dry snitch themselves into oblivion, man. We've seen it time and time again. And so, I saw a video from Adam 22 today. I didn't really listen to all of it because who listens to Adam 22? But apparently he was trying to explain because the people were taking the sentiments that I'm taking right now. Like, yeah, bro, you pretty much are the police. You know what I'm saying? You get on there and you ask people all kind of incriminating questions. And I guess if he is the police or he's a journalist or a reporter or talk show host, whatever you want to call himself, he's doing his job. Anyone that will look at Adam 22 or anyone built like him and think that it's outside the realm of imagination that he would be counterproductive to their going forward in life is a fool. You know what I'm saying? Adam 22 doesn't have any love for the people on this show. You know what I'm saying? You are all workers to him. You know what I'm saying? He is a chud fool clown himself. You know what I'm saying? So to even work for, and I've said this before, to work for a guy like Adam 22, you got to be a certain type of individual. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised that Adam has got some tricklings on his name about being not such a clean individual as it pertains to what he's doing with this information and who he's actually gathering information for. I'm sure law enforcement has reached out to Adam 22 and Vlad TV to obtain interviews and you know what I'm saying. And with that being said, if they've reached out to him to obtain some footage on someone they were investigating, it stands to reason that they say, hey, we've got Big U and Loose King. We've got some people on this list that, hey, invite them on for an interview, man, and ask them some of these questions. We can't seem to get anything. So again, it stands to reason. I'm not gonna go down the whole rabbit hole of how a policeman detective comes about gathering his investigation. I'm not that deep in the sauce, but I can imagine how this thing may work. Watch movies and shit like that. So it doesn't surprise me that a lot of people that end up going on these shows, man, eventually right after that they face some trouble. In fact, I've got an interview and I guess I'm gonna pop it into I don't know, it'd be kind of weird hearing it playing it on the phone. I'm gonna pop it into a video later on. Apparently Loose Cannon and Brick Baby were just on No Jumper like the day before they were arrested, discussing getting jammed up by the feds. Now I clicked off the video because I was like, I'll watch it a little later on when I started to put the video together. But it's odd they were sitting there talking about that, and the very next day he goes and get him. Now in the video where I heard when you was going to turn himself in, he said what I said in my live yesterday. Like I didn't understand how Loose Cannon and Brick Baby fit together with Big U because all we know as it pertains to Loose Cannon and Big U, like they've been ops for years. I think they used to run together. Like I say, Loose used to be a little hitman or a go getter for him. And I think after that Nipsey thing, that's where that's where their lines got severed. So when I heard all of them be arrested together, I'm just like, well, how do they fit in? Is it behind the scenes? They really cool and just talking that out in the. But I don't take Loose to be that kind of person. Loose sound like because Loose seem a little off. So I take Lou serious with what he says, so I believe that he's an op with Big U. You dig what I'm saying? So when I saw all of them get banged up at the same time, I was wondering like, what is that all about? I think the overarching theme of the indictments, man, were, the LA Crips set out there just going crazy. They just got different factions spread out over 20, 21 people that have their hands in just all kind of shit. So they just indict them all together. They don't care who's friends and who's cohorts and what faction is working with the other faction. They just know that all of them are Crips, and they looking at it like, hey, the Crips are here going crazy. Y'all doing too much. Time to put a stop to it. So I guess that's how all three of them got wrangled up into this thing all along with each other, man. And like I said, I've got some more details that I run across, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to plug them into the episode I'm editing right now from yesterday and just kind of add an addition or shoot an entirely new show. If you've been chronicling my last couple of months, man, I kind of feel like I need to flood the zone with material because I was off to the start, but all of a sudden, I think I got report bombed though. Almost sure. I've been speaking with a couple people that I could get in contact with as far as YouTube, and I think that's where we've come to. So I'm thinking about just making separate shows just to try and flood the zone before I move on to an entirely new page. But again, those were the updates, man. And so, like I said, we'll bring things to you, but I don't think it's gonna bode well for you, bro. I think this is I think his name has been hot in these streets as far as people wanting to see some type of justice. You remember back in the day, a couple videos. You can watch a couple of my shows. I chronicled all of this, man. But there was a particular time when you was on his, I guess it was on the live, and he was watching the live, and people making comments. He had a couple of his Crip partners behind him, and somebody put on the screen "Justice for Nip." Well, that elicited a huge burst of laughter from Big U and his cohorts, and people looked at that like, damn, bro, like in what situation would that be funny? You know what I'm saying? What's to laugh at about that? You know what I'm saying? So people took that and looked at that and like, okay, I think that was a tale, man. You know what I'm saying? I think that was a tale as far as his involvement with that whole Nipsey Hussle murder that took place. But like I said, people say he gave the green light to little shitty cuz or what have you. I read something today that I saw a picture of the guy, the rapper guy that was killed out in Las Vegas that was under the tutelage of Big U. And it said that along with them investigating him about that they're considering reopening the Nipsey Hussle case and seeing what they may can uncover. You know what I'm saying? Eric Holder is still in custody. Who knows? They may go to him and see what he got to say or what have you. But you hear Big U in that video talking about, man, you going to get dudes that don't like me. Seem like you just trying to set me up, trying to get people in there to put bad on my name. But I don't think those two individuals are the only people that have had things to say about you over the last handful of years. And I think if you do enough research and enough going through the internet, I think you'll find enough information that kind of points you in a direction of, yeah, these people may be on to something, man. So this may be the chickens coming home to roost for a Eugene Henley Jr. But like I said, man, I got some updates that I add to this thing, and I will upload that show a little later on. So let's just touch on a couple of topics, man. Let's move on from Big U. Let's talk about something that's a little, got a little funny to it. You dig what I'm saying? We all know who Jess Hilarious is, yeah? Jess Hilarious, man. I don't know if I really got any opinions on how I don't watch her material enough to really judge how funny she is. I know she's got a funny accent. People from Baltimore talk a certain way. They say room and shit like that. Cute girl, you know what I'm saying? But here lately, man, like I said yesterday, I don't even know if I spoke to this yesterday, but Jess Hilarious blew up from the internet. You know what I'm saying? Along the vein of a Desi Banks, Country Wayne. She used to. Now, was she married to Country Wayne? Was in a relationship, whatever, what have you? Drewskis. You know what I mean? Along the line of those internet comedians. You dig what I'm saying? She blew up. Started getting a look out here. In the midst of her having her look, Angela Yee Breakfast Club fame was having some trouble at her employment with the Breakfast Club. She subsequently left the Breakfast Club. They went into a search for a new host. Tried out different people, brought in different people. Uh, in the end, as it curtailed down to the end of this process, Jess Hilarious stood out as, the most sensible, the best that they had at the moment, right? Boom. When they announced that she's going to get the job, or at least told her that she was a front runner, what have you, Jess comes out with a little commercial, which was definitely premature. You dig what I'm saying? She comes out with this little commercial. And I love, you know what I'm saying? You got to go a long way to find somebody blacker than me, man. I love black women, but I also can critique them because I feel like I am qualified to do so. And so when you saw her with that early message come out early, it's just like, damn, bro, that was so typical. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you got to know, a black woman, bro, they going to, what if one thing they gonna do is celebrate and shine and gloat. You know what I'm saying? And so on one hand, yeah, she's happy she got the job, she's coming up, her draft stock is risen out here in the world. But it was also kind of like a shitting on the other people, shining up. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one now. I got this Breakfast Club job. Look at me now. You know what I'm saying? She was all in the queen chair, and it was just, Envy and Charlemagne standing behind. It was just like the new queen of Breakfast Club, of talk show radio in the morning is here. You know what I'm saying? It was just sound like, Jess, you're somebody that was good enough to fill the role. Like, it started out weird, right? They didn't confirm it for a couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's kind of like, damn, did they have second thoughts? Did they decide not to give her the job after she came out wild with that video or what have you? But nonetheless, she ended up taking the role. Now, I don't watch or listen to Breakfast Club. There was a point in life when I was up operating around that time of the morning where I would catch them, but that's not these days. I don't have to get up that early. So I don't really catch the material. You know what I'm saying? The most I catch at Breakfast Club is as I'm putting together content for news shows and searching throughout the news of the day. I'll run across something that may have happened, or something that Charlemagne has said, or some beige rage from DJ Envy or what have you. So I'm not really privy to the goings ons of the Breakfast Club in the last handful of years. But I do know what I saw on the internet, and what I did see on the internet was a overall opinion that Jess Hilarious wasn't really hitting the mark. You dig what I'm saying? She had a segment called "Jess with the Mess," and just kind of just bring out random little pop culture stories of craziness going on throughout the day, and it probably fit her because she still got a little roughness to her edges. You dig what I'm saying? So it went with that process. I don't think anyone was like, oh my gosh, she's terrible at this. Get her out of here. Like, find her replacement. I don't think that's how it came about. What did happen is that Jess Hilarious, obviously thinking that, I've got on with the Breakfast Club, bro. This is a gig that's going to pay me well for years to come. Although you cannot count your chickens before they hatch, especially in the entertainment world. But I can imagine that she felt like her career was about to take off, be stable for the next handful of years, and thus she gets knocked up. You know what I'm saying? Now, unfortunately, uh, for a female, man, now having a kid is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing. You know what I mean? Never anything to be, well, I can't say never anything to be frowned upon, because there are some situations out here in which a young lady can get pregnant. That's not a good look. But in this case, you can see why it came about. She gets pregnant, goes on maternity leave. When she goes on maternity leave, she chooses her replacement. The replacement she chose was, I forget Lauren's last name, but Lauren from prior TMZ fame, and she's done some other things in the journalism world, went to school for it and all that, what have you. That's who Jess chose as her replacement. Great choice. Great choice. Just not so great for Jess, because the first time that Lauren got on the show on television and started to do her little segment, it was just like a night and day difference. It's not that people heard Jess on the radio doing the segment and just hated her. It was that when they heard another female do her segment, it was more appealing to the masses. Jess is trying to play this card like it's some type of wide ranging conspiracy between Charlamagne, DJ Envy, the producers, and Lauren to get her off of the show. But if you watch the interview when she was replying, because they're telling her like, "Hey, Jess, you need to leave the comments where they are, man. It's like it's miserable people out here. You can't please everybody. If you're gonna go home and read the comments on any given video and getting your feelings about it, like you're gonna have a long road out here, baby girl. You dig what I'm saying? But she's trying to play it as if it was a conspiracy. But she goes on to say that no, it's not just the comments, it's the callers, it's the audience, the people that actually watch the show. So she's admitting that the people that actually watched the show, the supporters of the show, voiced opinions that were in favor of keeping Lauren instead of bringing Jess back. Oh man, Jess didn't like that. That prompted her to jump on and make a live video. Instagram live should get folks in trouble, boy. It's one thing to prepare a show and you can edit and delete things and think about better things, but you go live, you just going, you just talking. So she made a live and she came out really and it was a cringe live, bro. It was hard to make it through it because at the same time where she's giving Lauren props for being great at her job, you can hear the tone in her voice, the inflection. You can hear the side shots coming in there. You know what I'm saying? Like you'd have to go and listen to it, but it's in the show. I've got a show. I'm putting together a show about that too, man. I just felt like I should come in and do a little live about it. But I don't think we'll see a lot more of Jess because even after the live, they went on the next morning. They come to work, the both of them. Jess sits in there and kind of gets it off her chest for about 7-8 minutes. At the end of that 7-8 minutes, she starts to cry. Big tough badass. You hear me? She starts to cry. At that point, Lauren comes into the room. She felt sorry for Jess because she was crying, and then so they kind of had their back and forth addressing it, and it was never like it was no segment, be it that live, be it Jess talking to Charlamagne and Envy, just her herself. When Jess and Lauren were talking amongst each other with the two, like neither of those three instances was a good look for Jess, man. Like you can see that I guess she's hurt because she lost a job that she said she grew up on the Breakfast Club. So it was like the opportunity of a lifetime. And so I can understand how someone can be hurt from losing a job, but it's not like they conspired on her and sent her home for a week on vacation. And then when she came back, she was replaced. Mind you, Jess Hilarious got pregnant. She chose to, keep the baby and go into her maternity leave that she's granted as a female in the job force out here. And they had to bring in another voice to fill the woman slot that they had on the show. You chose Lauren. Lauren came in and was more appealing to the crowd than you are. It's just kind of like tough luck. It's no conspiracy. She's trying to play it like Lauren will go in and be talking behind her back, like, hey, replace her with me. And I don't even think Lauren doesn't seem like, and well, I don't know. She doesn't seem like the kind of person that would do that, but I just know what I see from her on TV a couple minutes out of a day or what have you. But I don't think she would have she had to do that. Again, the overall consensus from everybody watching the show is like, yeah, it's just a much smoother approach, man. You dig what I'm saying? And it's okay to be bested at your job. It happens, man. There are people out there in athletics and in corporate America and entertainment. They say there's always somebody better, or there's always someone that could do the same job. You know what I'm saying? Just as good, or perhaps even better. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily a bad thing. And she's making it worse by trying to accuse. She's trying to put it on everybody else as if they're plotting against her instead of just accepting the fact that she's just better at this than you, Jess. Like, but I guess there's no easy way for somebody to just let go of that dream job. But the way that she crashing out about it, bro, is really not doing her any favors. to the point where like you should start thinking about future job propositions. You dig what I'm saying? So don't go the Monique route where you just make everybody hate you and not want to work with you. You know what I'm saying? Take it with grace. Because they speak as if they're gonna be able to make it work. It's obvious that Jess doesn't like Lauren. You know what I'm saying? It's obvious that Lauren is better at this job than Jess. It's obvious that they can't coexist on that show. You know what I'm saying? They trying to keep the sisterhood, girl power narrative going to not look like Breakfast Club is pitting two women again, and I don't think that's what happened again. That's what Jess would probably try to say, like y'all just trying to create content by having us argue, and it's like, no, the only reason that we're sitting here talking about this is because you decided to jump on your live and go crazy on your live off the fact of commenters having something to say, and more importantly, Corey Holcomb been on her head for years, so he took his opportunity to chime in like everybody else, and that's what ultimately got under her skin and made her come out and respond. But you got off your box, you know what I'm saying? Like off your square, baby girl. Like you don't deserve for us to let you have the job because you feel bad about the way you lost it. You know what I'm saying? People lose jobs every day, B. You know what I mean? So that's just latest. Like I said, I got a show I'm gonna put together about that. It'll be a more interactive environment. You dig what I'm saying, man? All right, I got some things to do in a little while, but this is the last thing we're going to talk about. You dig what I'm saying? What about Tesla going up in flames, man? What y'all know about this? What y'all think about that? I myself don't care. I never plan on driving a Tesla. I don't like the Tesla trucks. It's just, like some novelty items. But your man Elon Musk has gotten himself in some hot water out here because he just can't help himself, which is a common trait with people like him and people of his category. You dig what I'm saying? Like, they can't help themselves from being extra. You give them an inch, they're going to try and take 10 miles. And inevitably they run into a brick wall. I would tell on Twitter a lot of times, like, man, America gonna eat that man, bro. They gonna eat him alive. America is a very, very fickle place. People go from friends to enemies in a split second in America. You know what I'm saying? Um, and yeah, some of his antics out here, man. I think it's kind of funny to be honest. Watching these dealerships get set on fire. Now, like, I don't have a problem with it at all. It irritates me. I see a lot of commentators and content creators when they start talking about things that's happening out here in the streets as it pertains to the two political sides, or this fight for justice, or this fight against injustice and things like that. They quick to say, "No, I don't condone any violence. Violence is not the key." Well, I do. I have no problem with them setting them cars on fire. I ain't no problem with it. I ain't saying I'm running out there and doing it. I ain't calling for no one to lose their life. But sometimes a bit of force is it's taking it with more respect than singing a song in the kumbaya. You dig what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with it, especially when you got people that they kind of blatantly come out their mouth the wrong way, man. And if you look into their past enough, you'll find some things that may support uh the thoughts that the masses seem to have about certain people, man. For someone to be in such a position as he is and doing the type of things that he's doing in our American government, I don't particularly think I don't think it makes sense. I remember I remember a guy that actually was qualified to become president of the United States, on one named Barack Obama. And to this very day, they're still disputing whether his birth certificate is real or not. And so basically implying that, you know, him being an African, he should have never been allowed to be in politics in the United States of America, which is a complete fabrication, a complete lie. But they're still holding on to that today. But yet, Elon Musk, South African, over here wreaking havoc. Since he's doing it for their side, they have no problem with it. Just complete hypocrisy. So again, leopards are out here, man, and they eat faces. You dig what I'm saying? They're opportunistic eaters. You know what I'm saying? If you're out there to get caught in the crossfire, excuse me, you'll be eaten. And so I think that's what's happening to Elon Musk right now. Tesla is down to what, 225 from like 450 or something like that. It's not looking good, man. But you make your bed and then you have to lie in it and until the next morning and wake up and see if you slept right and if you've got a crook in your neck or what have you. It's how it goes out here, man. So I think he's getting a taste of what America is really about, man. I don't know exactly what side of the political fray is doing this to his vehicles and to his buildings and things like that. I suspect though that he's pissed off a lot of people that are on the same side as him. When it comes to federal jobs, I don't know that the deportation have affected more than just people that were actually here illegally. There's plenty of legal people that have been deported. Most recently, they sent the whole plane full of Trinidad Trinidad gang members, so they say, to El Salvador, El Salvadorian prison. Come to find out, not every person that they arrested and deported and put on that plane was a criminal. I don't know if they're scrambling to reverse the harm they've done, but these layoffs, these federal workers being fired, there are more than them there than there are of us. So in every industry, they are more represented than we are. So it stands to reason that when you fire 100 people, 78 of them are liable to be, you know, your cohorts. 22 may be the people that you want to get out of there. You want to hurt them and destroy their lives. But those other 78 people were collateral damage, unintended circumstances. And so, a lot of those people are sitting at home right now wondering, like, what's going on, bro? Like, I didn't think that included me. DEI, I thought that was black people. What? Oh, a white lady? I'm not DEI. Well, yes, you are. You're at home. You have no job. Take your severance package. We'll holler at you. But yeah, man, to be 3 months into this thing and for them to have already shown their hand the way that they did, I think it's kind of poetic justice, man. I don't think anything could have been done to really stop them from getting in the position that they're in now. But I think that they're gonna assist the masses greatly in removing them from those positions, in removing the blinders from their eyes as they view the antics that's going on out there in our American government by various different bad players, man. You dig what I'm saying? Bad Diablo, bad Path of Exile 2 players. Leon Musk. I call him Leon Musk, Elon Musk, Leon Schmuck. I saw somebody call him Leon Schmuck on the thing. I like that. I like that little play on the words of the name. But yeah, man, this has been my quick little dissertation, man. I just want to jump in and go live real quick. Like I said, I got some shows to put together that will be out later on, and we're gonna see how they do. If they don't perform well, then I'm gonna move on to another page because I have wasted about 6 months of material on this page for things not to be moving. So, with that said, man, this has been That Way with Jack Travis going live. I'll get at y'all soon, man. Blow in stream right now.